Hi, I'm Kaylee, and this is my reading wrap-up for 30 books in 30 days in September. I had such a great reading month in September. I surpassed my goals of novellas and short stories and poetry and essays and all the different things that I was reading. I actually read a little bit more than my goals. So in September, I read 11 short books and novellas. I read 13 graphic novels, 26 poems, and 16 short stories or essays. So quite a lot of great reading in September. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know, how did your reading go in September? Did you participate in the 30 books in 30 days challenge? Did you meet all of your reading goals, or did you surpass your goals a little bit like I did? Or did you fall short a little bit, but that's okay too. Leave me a comment down below and let me know. If you did participate in the 30 books in 30 days, whether you actually read 30 books or 20 books or 10 books, or whether you read 30 minutes every day for 30 days, there is an award that you can give yourself. I will leave a link down in the description to where you can access the PDF file and print out for yourself an award. If you read 30 books or 30 short stories or 30 poems or whatever, you get the Gold Star Award. If you read 20 books in 30 days, you get the Silver Star. If you read 10 books, you get the Bronze Star. And if you read for 30 minutes every day for 30 days, you get the Red Star Award. These are available for free, and there's a link down below to my website where you can go over and download the PDF and print it out for yourself and give yourself a star. Give yourself an award because you deserve it. You have accomplished some amazing reading in September. Before we dive into all the reading that I did, I'm going to reach back here to our booktuber shout out book, and we're going to shout out somebody randomly. Today's shout out goes to the Book Bubbler. I will leave a link to their channel down in the description, so be sure to go over and subscribe to them. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you had a great reading month for 30 books in 30 days in September. So I started out the month by reading 2 books from Enid Blyton, 5 on a Treasure Island and 5 Go Adventuring Again. These are the first 2 books in the Famous 5 series. I really enjoyed these. I think I gave both of these 4 stars. They were just so fun and cute and charming, exactly like you would expect a children's book from Enid Blyton to be. I also read The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. I read this like 1 chapter each day until I was able to finish it, because I just wanted to stop and kind of digest and really think about everything that I was reading. It was so good and inspiring. I gave that one 5 stars for sure. I read through the entire Your Lie in April manga series, all 11 volumes, and of course gave them all 5 stars because it's about a pianist, and I'm a pianist. I'm a piano teacher. And so I found it very moving and inspiring, and of course I cried at all the sad parts. I gave every single volume 5 stars. I just love it so much. And then I also read the kind of companion novella, which is a bunch of short stories set in the same world with the same characters as Your Lie in April. This is the 6-person etude. I did not enjoy this one as much as the original series. I guess I was just kind of expecting something more. I kind of got my hopes up and then I was a little bit disappointed. It's just some little short stories that are told from the perspectives of each of the characters in the original series. But it just, it wasn't really anything special. So I just gave it 3 stars. It's fine, I'm glad I read it, but nothing amazing. I also read 3 novellas from Grace Livingston Hill. I read The Girl from Montana, which is about a young lady from Montana who is threatened by some evil men after her brother dies, and so she is fleeing from those people, and she meets someone out on the trail, and they strike up a friendship and start to travel together, and romance ensues. I really liked this one because it's not just about the romance, it's also about the spiritual journey that these 2 people go on. And it's also, of course, the adventure of getting away from the bad guys. Another Grace Livingston Hill that I read was The Story of a Whim. So this young lady has an organ, a musical organ, that she wants to get rid of. And when she's at the train station, she sees all these parcels of furniture that are being shipped down to Florida. And she thinks, wouldn't it be funny if I just put this organ in together with all their furniture, And when their furniture arrives, they'll have this organ as a big surprise. And she puts a letter together with it, and a lot of shenanigans ensue. This one was definitely a weird story. The plot was just kind of all over the place, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And then I also read Aunt Crete's Emancipation. Aunt Crete is an elderly aunt, and her sister and her niece really kind of bully her. They make her do all the most difficult chores around the house. And poor Aunt Crete is just so patient and has such a sweet disposition that she just kind of lets them walk all over her. But when her nephew comes to visit from out west, he recognizes right away that poor Aunt Crete is being taken advantage of, and he determines that he is going to liberate her from her bullying relatives. It was really refreshing to read something from Grace Livingston Hill that is not a romance. This story was all about that family togetherness. So I really enjoyed that one. I think I gave this one 4 stars. It was just so cute. And I also finally finished the portable Kipling. Hey, it only took me more than a year to actually make my way through this compilation of short stories and essays and poems from Kipling. Normally, I would say I really love Rudyard Kipling. I've got bunches of Kipling right up here. I've got Kim and the Jungle Books and all kinds of poetry of his. But this particular collection of short stories and everything from Kipling, I just really didn't enjoy. I guess I really like Kim and Captain's Courageous and the Jungle Books and the Just So stories, and everything else just seems like that's just not my style. It took me so long to get through this collection because I just wasn't enjoying the stories. A lot of them are very depressing. They're all about death. And of course, many of them are set in India, but a lot of the cultural things in India and even just the historical things that modern readers wouldn't know about, they're not explained, and so I would get lost a lot of the time. There are footnotes in this edition, but I felt like there just weren't enough footnotes. I needed more footnotes to explain the lingo and to explain these historical happenings that, I don't know about. I did enjoy the poetry a lot more. I do like Kipling's poetry style. And the essays were largely forgettable. They were just not that interesting or memorable. But I am glad that I can say that I finally read through this huge collection of Rudyard Kipling. And I also read The Ordinary Princess. This is an adorable fairy tale. It's just so charming. At the christening of Princess Amy, one of the fairies who is invited gives her the gift of ordinariness. So instead of being impossibly beautiful and blonde with blue eyes and a perfect complexion like all of her royal sisters, Princess Amy has mousy brown hair and a turned up nose and freckles. But the difficulty is that no prince in the land wants to marry a princess with freckles. How astonishing. So poor Amy grows up perfectly ordinary, surrounded by her extraordinarily beautiful royal family. And of course, she has to break free from all those royal traditions and find her own happiness. I loved that this story takes all those fairy tale tropes that you love, like the fairy giving an awkward gift at the christening. And it just gives us a fresh new take on those things, and it gives it a little twist. The writing style is so enchanting and lovely, and there are also really beautiful illustrations done by the author herself. I just adored this story from start to finish. This is everything that I love about fairy tales. I read We Live, which is a graphic novel all about this futuristic world where everything is falling apart. There are zombies taking over. There are like these really weird creatures that will attack you. But if they can make it to this rendezvous point, then some of the children can be saved from the coming apocalypse. The really cool thing about this graphic novel is that there are QR codes that you can scan in each chapter, and that'll take you to a YouTube video that has a soundtrack of music that goes along with that chapter. So that was really cool. It was very immersive to be able to listen to the music as you're reading. So I just loved that so much. I read MacTavish on the Move, which is about the Peachy family who are moving to a new home, but one of the children is really anxious about having to move and having to go to a new school and make new friends. But the dog, MacTavish, has a plan to make things a little bit easier on the family when they move. This was really cute and adorable. It was just so funny. The writing was just so hilarious. I gave this 4 stars. I read Crimson Twill, Witch in the City. Crimson is on her way to the department store Bloomingdale's with her mom, but Crimson doesn't want to buy a black dress like most witches have and a pointy hat. She wants a hat with a bow, and she wants a polka dot dress. So Crimson is determined to shop around and find something that reflects her unique style. This book was so adorable. It was just so cute. Crimson is so delightful. She's so different, and she loves being different. This was just such a charming, lovely story. I gave this one 5 stars. Another graphic novel that I read was The Adventures of Snoop, the Mountain of Hope. Snoop is a goat, and he is determined to go on a quest to find the primordial grass, which will grant perfect health and wisdom to whoever eats it. In this first volume of the series, Snoop is just remembering the legend of the first goat, Ba Caprone, who first found and discovered the primordial grass. I did like the story in the graphic novel, but it's a little bit unpolished. The story doesn't really flow very naturally. The design is not always easy to follow or really clear. So I did enjoy it, but it's kind of, it was fine. I gave it 3 stars. And on the very last day, on September 30th, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna throw in an extra short story there, and I read The Nasties of Nascant Swamp. This is the second short story, or kind of like a little novella in this series. The first one is Death at Dustbar College, and I really enjoyed that one, and the author was kind enough to send me a e-copy of the second one. In this one, a little boy, 5 years old, receives an invitation to a gnome's party. But when he gets to the party, he gets more than he bargained for. And then his family have to come and rescue him. I really loved the world building in this one. It's just so imaginative and fun, and there's gnomes and fairies and trolls and magic and wizards. It's just really adorable, and the writing is really hilarious and funny. I was just giggling through every page. I gave this little story 4 stars. And that is everything that I read for 30 books in 30 days in September. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know how your reading went in September. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.